I hope something happens. I need a spark. I feel that I'm getting closer to an answer. The obstacle of balancing the documentary with my trip and finding my spirituality, if that's even where I'm going anymore. I need something to happen, or this film and me are going nowhere. About a month ago, I filmed a wedding down in Belmont, California. The officiant there was, maybe mid-50s. I think the first thing he said was, "What are you doing for the month of March?" I went to film school, Syracuse University. Didn't get into USC or NYU or shit like that. I didn't really go to school for my trade to find a job or make money. I was looking for college experience. School was never very stressful for me. I did my work and I got the jobs done that I needed to do, but I cut corners where I could, get it done. But then there's my senior film. Man Alone, I called it. All of a sudden, everything changed. Even though it was a short film, I stopped 15 minutes going to parties. I would get my reels back from processing, being friendly, and find out that I had to do whole scenes over again. Even though it was a short film, stopped being friendly, stopped being relaxed, stopped relaxing. I was a mess. Everything was falling inward. And it was weird to me because I'd never been this stressed in my life before. Film really meant something for me. It had consumed my life. I don't regret it, and I try not to regret anything. It doesn't always go so well. The stress never quite left me. Could never fully relax anymore. First 3 months of being back home, I did nothing. Couldn't find a job, even a non-paying job. I was stuck in my own head and developed mild OCD and hypochondria. Felt like something was always wrong with me. Then all of a sudden I'm working 6-7 days a week. I find a job filming and editing weddings.
Can you say a couple things for me?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
About a month ago, I filmed a wedding down in Belmont, California. And this is where I meet Robert. I think the first thing he said was, "What are you doing for the month of March?"
You are the likely candidate who would be perfect for this type of an experience, because you're so wrapped up in who you think you are that you are tight, wound tight as a drum. And so to come out to a place like this, might give you the opportunity, if you would be so inclined, to perhaps let go a little bit and unwind and lighten up a little bit. So your filming and so your activities can flow rather than be premeditated, so that your true artist form can come through rather than through thought, but through action and experience.
He told me that every year he takes a group of people on a trek to India and Nepal. think a gentle walk in the park is how he described it.
Are you free in March?
Maybe.
He was a Catholic Zen monk, the white-robed monks of St. Benedict's.
If you want to have an experience of a lifetime,
I didn't even know Catholic Zen monks existed.
join us. I ask very many people to come to this experience.
All these ideas began popping in my head.
I personally am just surprised or in awe of the obstacles we human beings can create for ourselves for not doing something.
But I couldn't go. But I had no money, no equipment, and I couldn't just up and leave for a month.
Realize that all our obstacles are up here. We make them up. We make up the obstacles.
I emailed Robert and told him I couldn't go. But the answer I got, I wasn't expecting. He was willing to finance my trip.
One of the mission statement of the White Robe Monks of St. Benedict is to offer educational opportunities for folks to uncover exactly who they are. What came to mind was, well, this might be an opportunity to further that mission statement. Did that answer your question, more or less?
Yes.
All right.
So I've gotten most of my equipment. Actually, pretty much all of my equipment after about maybe 15 packages over the last couple months. Got my camera, a tripod, bag, a couple filters, got my wireless system, a boom mic, 7 batteries, rain cover for both my pack and my camera, because who knows what the weather's going to be like. I got about 65 tapes. What else? Battery charger. I had a solar panel, but I haven't been able to get it to work. I've got my second camera, backup. I think that might be about it.
Being in the Himalayas is a fantastic experience for anyone who wishes to reconnect with who they are and with the planet, because there are no social support systems. They're on their own, and the individuals are able to meet themselves on the path going up to the top, at least to EBC, where we wimp out at. We do not go any higher than EBC 1, which is only around 18,000 feet.
This is 18,000 feet. Get about 45% of the oxygen that we do down here at sea level. And I just really have no idea how I'm going to handle this. My boss told me to pick up a book called Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. He told me maybe I could call my film Zen in the Art of Filmmaking, or maybe Zen in the Art of Home Movies. This is way over my head. While this may be interesting to me, it's who else is going to find this interesting? It's about some random person trying to find their spirituality. Maybe that's why I'm talking to the camera right now. So what else can I do?
If we're going to change something, the only reality I can change is what? That's the only power I have is over this protoplasm.
Next shot I'm going to take is going to be in India. Started flying a couple days ago. Not really sure, lost track of time. Once you're flying for more than 12 hours, you don't really know when the days or the hours pass. I don't really feel that I'm here this time. Is it okay? I managed to get more money for an assistant. I chose my friend Noah. That's okay. Does it seem light enough?
Test. Suck my balls.
He is an audio engineer.
Suck my balls.
He hasn't had that much training, but he's getting up there quick. It's nice to have a friend to go with me on the trip, but I need someone who I can count on and someone who's not going to take it personally when I order them around because, I've worked production assistant jobs before and it's
I gotta teach you how to coil cables.
no fun, but you do what you got to do. I hope I made the right choice.
Is there hope? Please know there is no hope in the universe. There is no hope in the universe. Those of us who hope are always waiting for something else to take care of the situation. We make it up.
This job draws attention to itself.
So we're in Delhi. Are you serious? Took a stop in Hong Kong and Singapore. They're both pretty nice airports. Huge difference when we got to the Delhi airport. So one of my biggest concerns about making this film was getting through customs with all my film equipment, but I had no problem. Noah, on the other hand, looked through his bag, tried to get $300 out of him for his audio recorder. Spent the day today driving all over Delhi. Our driver brought us to all the hot spots all over Delhi. We happened to find a snake charmer. That was very interesting. Noah got 2 snakes, one in a basket and the other one on his head. It really made me feel good. I got some good stuff today. The thing that amazed me the most was the number of homeless people. Like I was expecting some, but it was just full of people sprawled out on the sidewalk and in the parks, and hundreds and hundreds of shanties everywhere. We filmed these kids in a park. There was about 4 of them. And they ran up to the camera and started wrestling with each other and doing handstands. They came up and started asking for money, and it really hit me, and I felt bad afterwards that we were filming these kids and we didn't give them any money. But it's tough because you want to be able to do something, but the second you start handing out money, you're just going to get mobbed with people. So we're on the train to Varanasi today. I'm actually kind of amazed we got on it. Got a little suite right now, a couple bunks. And fortunately, we're alone. We got some empty space considering the huge amounts of bags that we have. Last night we found some of the local Indian beer called Kingfisher. Got a little buzzed. Got a little drunk. Surprised at how dirty everything is in India. Basically walk out for about an hour and you're covered in a little bit of a crust. I'm hoping that it's not gonna do too much damage to my equipment. Noah got his ears cleaned by some random guy in the park. The train station was intense. Mobs and mobs of people. It took us forever to find our train, then it moved. The train ended up being about an hour and a half late. And one thing that hit me was there's this kid, maybe 12, 13 years old, sitting down in the middle of the train tracks. Watched a huge rat just scurry past him, but just sat there and watched everyone, just waiting for the train. We have about 8 hours to go.
Exactly, there's 15 seconds left.
Usually when it starts saying 0 minutes, you have 1 minute left. See how long it goes? I'll just sit here staring at the camera.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Can you zoom into, yeah,
Time. So
if you have time, whatever, if it, zoom into like me and the light just right here. It's been a couple days since I've said anything to the camera. So I've gotten pretty sick. I haven't been this sick in over 10 years. Been taking some prescription medicine that I got over the counter here. Going between the projectile vomiting and the liquid shit, so makes it really hard to enjoy. But anyways, I'll try to recap what's happened over the last couple days. From the train, we made it to the Varanasi train station where we were supposed to meet Robert and a friend of his. So we got off the train and we sat in front of the station and we were there for a couple hours and no one was there to meet us. So finally we took a taxi and wandered through alleyways for about a mile and a half until we found our hotel. Our hotel overlooks the Ganges, and pretty much right under our hotel is something called the Burning Ghat. And this is where people bring the bodies of the dead to be burned. There are 5 kinds of people that cannot be burned. And they're children under 15, cobra bite victims, lepers, I can't remember the other 2. But in those cases, they simply throw the bodies in the river.
Hi. Where were you guys?
Since I've been here, I haven't really talked too much to Robert. He's been off doing his own thing most of the time. And even at dinner, he doesn't really converse too much with me. Just fine, I guess. I just hope that he can change his mind about being a main character in this film. Because I feel that without him, there isn't too much structure or guidance. But he did introduce us to Manish.
So can you give me your name and occupation?
My name is Manish Seth and I born and grow in Varanasi. My occupation, I have a shop. I sell silk handicraft from Varanasi.
The oldest one. Zoroastrian is here.
Manish has been our guide for these last couple of days and will be for the rest of the week. He's a local of Varanasi and an old-time friend of Robert.
All my life I have been in Varanasi.
Pretty much bringing us to everything we can think of so I can shoot film. We've explored the city. We've gone out on the boat on the river. And as we were boating down the river, I noticed a couple bodies of young children decomposing the side of the river. To say the least, that's not something you see every day. Gone to temples and mosques. Went to a village outside the city, which was amazing. It was really interesting because as soon as I took my camera out of the car, crowds would start to build up, mostly children. I got some great shots of them, but I couldn't get any landscape shots because wherever I moved the camera, they would move right in front of it. And as we got in the car and drove to different locations, they would follow us. And I would have maybe 30 seconds to a minute of shooting at a place before they showed up again and ruined the shot. I love rural life like that. Instead of asking for money, or trying to rip off tourists. The kids there just wanted to be on camera. They just wanted to be with us. They were just curious. It's so simple. No contracts. No payoffs. No strings attached. It just is.
What are the things that you like most about this city?
The most good thing, the people are very friendly, have a good heart, and it's peace. It's kind of you can make your soul peace in Varanasi rather other cities in India. You get a lot of knowledge in Varanasi once you come here, a knowledge of culture, a knowledge of religions, a knowledge of people, a knowledge of Mother Ganga, and it gives you a lot of peace in your mind.
Are those good cigarettes, Monkey? Whoa, hey there, buddy. Oh, shit. Get away from me. Oh, shit. Oh, you got those back cigarettes, too. Yeah.
Indians drink very rarely, for the most part. But Holi is a day where everyone consumes large amounts of alcohol. You might imagine how this goes over. The festival basically includes lots of beer and this kind of paint substance in all different colors that everyone throws on each other. It's just a huge festival of belligerence. You know, having this camera here with me has been amazing because I can capture moments and images that would never be possible otherwise. But in many ways, it's also a burden. I didn't think I was going to be able to see or experience Holi. When you're behind the camera the entire time, it's hard to really see something for yourself. It's inevitable that you're detached from what's in front of you. And I'm definitely feeling that. So I made a decision. I left the camera in my hotel room, grabbed my backup camera. Couldn't be completely disconnected, right? I don't regret it one bit. In fact, I know I would have completely regretted it if I didn't do it.
This one's the picture. And is this too low down here?
That should be fine. I mean, mix it up a little bit.
Makes it like a DJ.
So it seems to be all going downhill.
All right. So, where are you right now?
I'm sitting in this chair
And where is this chair?
in the Skandaya guest house in India.
So, what do you think is so alluring about Varanasi?
What is so what?
Alluring?
You said, what
keeps
do I
you?
think? That's
What keeps you
raises
coming
into
back to
problems.
this city? What keeps you coming back to Varanasi?
I come back.
You know, I asked this a little bit before on our interview a couple weeks ago. Could you tell me a little bit about the White Robe Monks?
What I would recommend highly is that you go simply to our website. Everything that one needs to know is right there.
You know, I'd like to know just a couple key points, a tiny bit of background. Well, can you just
Be
say it
specific,
and
please,
describe it?
Brendan.
Basically, I just want to hear, you know, what's on that front page, and
You want to hear what's on it.
Yeah,
You want me to
I
read
just
it.
want you-
Okay,
I'd like
the
you
White
to
Robe
say it.
Monks of St. Benedict serve the contemporary Catholic and all people. That's, you know, their outlook is that of Catholic spirituality, experience, you know, love and compassion rather than religion, belief, which is grounded in belief, guilt, shame, and blame.
I don't know how to communicate with him. I don't know what I can say that will get an answer I can use.
you know, I still ask the question: do you think you're on a quest for knowledge, but
No.
without that original?
No.
Okay.
What is there to know? It really isn't all that serious. So perhaps if we lighten up a bit, life will be cool. You know, just for feedback, okay? Because a lot of folks know me and have known many other people that have come with me. They also observe folks who are with me. And given the human dynamic of wanting to discuss other people as well, you know, the remark has, one's very, very serious. Is there trouble? Is there a problem? And I have to say, no, there's no problem. No, water is wet, rocks are hard, fire heats, and this is that. You know.
Then he told me about how I should relax. I don't know why I'm here. I've lost my direction. It's all going bad. I have this whole film riding on my back. What am I doing here? How can I just relax? I have so many things to live up to. You know, when I asked Robert why he decided to fund this project, he gave me two reasons. One, he said, was, you know, there's the opportunity for money in case I make money on this project, which very little chance. No chance.
You've heard a little bit what I'm trying to accomplish with both this film and the trip. Do you feel that someone can find or start to find their spirituality while at the same time trying to...
Hello, Mr. Barnett. Isn't everything the same? Any obstacle that you might create or that which you're creating yourself?
The other, he said, was to educate people, to show them a gentle walk in the park. Robert has, I think, the ability to read people from the moment he sees how they carry themselves, or the first word they say to him. So he must have known that I wasn't exactly a relaxed person. So why? Through helping me relax, then in turn, that can be reflected in the film and help other people, but I don't think that's gonna happen. This is everything for me. Just don't know what to do anymore. Not like I ever did.
That's still on. Okay, are we done?
Yeah, no, I leave it on a lot, so it's...
Isn't that wasting film?
I came here to make a film, but the film is about me. The film is about finding my spirituality. And I can't do that behind the camera the entire time. I need to keep both eyes open. One for the world shown through my camera, and one for the real world, or whatever you might call real. Please let me relax. So I'm here in Kathmandu. First thing I noticed when getting to the city is that it feels like a much more upscale, cleaner India. Like the ideas are the same. It's huge, stacked apartments with tiny little streets, and every single house is different. But there's less trash, less random animals, less dust for the most part. We're staying in a part of the city which is basically made for tourists. A lot of trekking, hippie shops. Every single shop sells the same exact things. And we went to dinner at a place and I got a hamburger, which actually wasn't too bad. Everything was Americanized. They had Tex-Mex food, they had Hawaiian pizza, barbecue bacon burger. It's all kind of a little disconcerting. There's this little paint splatter of Americanized culture here. This is fake. This is here just for us. You know, I wish I hated it, but I like it. I got to admit that I like it. It's feeling like home a little bit. Today we took a tour of the city. Went all over this huge temple. Another thing similar to a burning ghat where Hindus burn the bodies of the dead. I think I probably got covered in ashes. Then of course there's the massive stupas. Basically the big white monuments. There's a massive one I've randomly run into a couple of times over there. I enjoy when I go to a city like this just to walk in a direction and get lost. Go wander for hours. Especially on my own. Just wander. Bought something pretty cool though. A monkey skull. How awesome is that? Took a shower today for the first time and who knows when. It's nice not to have to do that every day, to just... Who cares if you're dirty? It's liberating. It feels nice to just be gross. As long as the camera's clean, right?
Yesterday there was a big festival in Kathmandu. Basically there's this big, well, I guess I'd call it a cross between a Trojan horse and a Christmas tree. It stood about 50, 60 feet tall. I just happened to find it earlier that day, and I went back and was caught in the massive pandemonium. Basically, they had huge teams of people pulling this massive rolling tree about a mile through Kathmandu through these tiny little streets. So as this massive tree moved down the street, it would hit the buildings on either side. And the whole time I was pretty much following right behind it with the camera, and I heard glass break on top of me. The tree had hit like the third floor windows, and they all came crashing down pretty much right on me. It's the kind of festival that you can't see in the US. They wouldn't ever allow it.
Hey, I'll be done in a minute or two. Can you close the door behind me?
Yes. I got a bag. I need to still get a luggage lock, because I'm going to leave some stuff here.
Yeah. I'll be done in just like 2 minutes.
I'm headed down right now with Jordan. Should we wait for you?
To do what?
I'm not sure. I think just get a couple more last minute things and probably get some food.
Okay. I'm okay. I got a lot of packing to do.
Yeah. All right.
Starting to wonder about my choices. You know, I've started to figure out what one of my big problems is on this trip. I chose a friend as my assistant. My choice of Robert as a guide for this film. He forgets that this is a job. After the interview the other day, where I basically got shot down, and that he can't just do the job when he wants to. You know, I started thinking about, and all he really does for me is carry my tripod. Him and what he has to give to this film. And when I ask him to do something else, he's like, well, can you do it? I feel like I don't speak the same language as him. You know, maybe my problem isn't even really him. Maybe it's me just expecting too much. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. You know, instead of looking at what my problem is, I gotta figure out a way around it. I gotta stop looking to other people to make this film for me. Anyways, it's not a big deal. I can do this on my own. We're in this tiny little propeller plane. There's about 15 seats in it. The plane was bouncing all over the place and banking to the left and the right. And finally we got here. It was a crazy little airport up in the mountains called Lukla Airport. And while it was raining and windy earlier in the day when we got there, it just all brightened up.
First of all, can you just state your name and
Yeah.
your occupation, what you do?
Yeah. My name is Navaraj. I born in eastern part of Nepal. Now I am a guide.
And then we will walk down to Pakding on standard paths. And in Pakding, we will spend the night.
Come from Lukla to Phakding.
The next morning, get up and have a decent breakfast and standard trail up to really the last major settlement in the Himalayas, which would be Namche Bazaar, which is at 11,000.
The altitude hasn't been too much of a problem for me yet. I've got a little bit of a headache here and there and gotten this nasty cough, but nothing horrible. First half of the day was no problem. Just a little bit of ups and downs. And then, the last mile, we climbed about 2,000 feet. And it was incredibly brutal, especially once it started snowing for the last quarter of it. You know, I've done a lot of backpacking in my life, but I think this may very well be the toughest day I've had, especially that we're now at about 11,000 feet. So my assistant is no longer able to carry carry my tripod, which, I mean, I don't want him to be miserable on the trip, but I hope he doesn't expect me to pay him the same amount of money because the job's still not being done. Whatever. There's somebody else on the trip who would be happy to carry the tripod for me.
Alright, first can you just state your name and I guess either occupation or what you do or...
My name is Lyndon Jordan Theodore Lyford. I'm a nomad, which means world traveler. Means I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm traveling, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
He's a new kid we met in India. His name is Jordan. He's just fun-loving and obnoxious in a good way. And it just kind of puts everyone else at ease. I want to finish this trip knowing that I did it all myself. And you know, this trip that we're doing, and you know, it's tough hiking, but we're staying in hotels every night. I mean, more like dormitories, but how can I compare this to the films of people climbing up Everest? Or skiing down it? We're only going to base camp.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Have you heard of the show Pimp My Ride?
Oh yeah?
It's got nitrous.
Pimp my yak, pimp my yak.
Yeah, man.
Day 4, the altitude's kicking in.
The altitude's starting to take its toll. Had a pretty bad headache the last couple of days. You know, I've survived, but it's been tough at times.
Here up on top of the world, garlic is your best source of food for energy and getting yourself climbed to the altitudes. And after all the garlic soup, and after all the garlic potatoes and garlic dishes,
Garlic.
and garlic, we've
have to invent new and interesting ways to eat garlic. So my friend Noah has found a way of garlic and Snickers as tend to be the new best way. So I have a garlic. All right, Snickers. Oh. All right. Garlic Snickers. It's a new flavor that's coming to America. Get ready.
Can you tell me a little bit about altitude sickness?
Yeah, especially when the people arrive over than 3,500 meter, and people feel little bit high in altitude sickness. Yeah, the symptom of high in altitude sickness is like vomiting, dizzying, unconscious, and stomach problem, headache.
And what happened yesterday, he found out on the way down today that 2 people died from base camp to Gorak Shep, 2 foreigners, yesterday. And so it's, the mountain itself is always in charge.
Hopefully, though, the longer we stay up there, the easier it'll get.
Slept like poop again last night. I don't know if it's cold or the altitude, but it's really getting to me. Freezing. I have every single layer of clothing that I own on right now, and I'm still freezing. This weather's cold.
I've gotten sick. This altitude is really starting to take its toll. I'm way over my head.
1 grain of sand contains the entire universe. We make this all up. Now, what happens is that a lot of us don't take responsibility for that we make this up. So that allows us to become victims of our circumstances.
And I pretty much have a constant pounding headache. Today I had headache is so bad, it's the worst I can remember ever feeling.
You've noticed I've been coughing, the dust. I don't. This doesn't operate well in this environment. It's not the dust's fault. It's not my body's fault. Guess what? Water is wet, rocks are hard, sky is blue, fire heats, and this is that. This is the way it is.
It's just so stressful. It's making it hard to enjoy this amazing place. When every time I bend down to pick up the camera, I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
Now I can sit here and complain and bemoan, oh my God,
Damn it.
As you see some folks do.
I wish I didn't have the camera with me. I wish I was just here, enjoying it for myself, like everybody else. I'm feeling if this is something for Travel Channel or an advertisement for Nepal trekking, then, or India and Nepal, it'd be great. But as far as spirituality, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. Who cares about me being able to relax? Why should that interest anyone else but me? I don't know what I got myself into. Trying to make a film about I don't know what.
The minute an individual sits back and says, I'm doing this. This is not happening to me.
I gotta stop feeling sorry for myself. Get out there and just film. Ugh. In your travels, what have you learned about people in general?
That all of us have our own fantasies and our own hopes and our own dreams and our own desires, which is nothing new under the sun. Everybody knows this. We're all completely different, and hence we are all completely the same, and we make up one unit. No one is better than anybody else. No one is worse than anybody else. No one way of doing things is better or worse. They're all just various expressions of the human experience in the moment, understanding that we make it all up ourselves.
And next day, we go to the Namche to Tenguche. Tenguche is wonderful viewpoint.
And in Tingboche, there's a monastery where the Sherpas, who are going with expeditions up to the top of Mount Everest, they receive the blessings of the abbot of that monastery.
The monks and the head lama live there. If we are lucky, we meet the head lama.
And what Tingboche is most well known for is its monastery. It's probably one of, if not the most famous Buddhist monastery in Nepal, if not the world. And I got an interview with the head lama there, which was an honor to say the least.
We reach the Dinguche. Dinguche is also very nice place.
So we're in Dingboche right now, at about 4,900 meters. No. So we're at Dingboche right now, at about 4,200 meters. No. So we're at Dingboche right now, at about 4,300 meters. It's just a breathtaking place. Just everything around me is massive mountains. We're staying at a place right now, just down there, run by someone who spent quite a bit of time in San Francisco. He brought back with him, of all things, Pete's Coffee and PBR.
Americans specifically who come here to Asia, specifically to India and to Nepal, hold on with dear life to their conditioned habit patterns of behavior because that's all they know. And while they're here, they have the opportunity to stretch a little bit and realize that life is more than what they have been conditioned to believe it is.
So I had a talk with Robert tonight. You know, about nothing. I'm starting to understand him more. I'm no longer as intimidated as I once was.
Please know there is no hope in the universe.
Nothing matters. That was something that I had trouble with for a while. If nothing matters and there is no hope, then what's the point?
There is no point.
So then...
And there is no point that there is no point. See, don't get caught up that there is no point. To say that there is no point, all of us as human beings have meaning and purpose. We all do. But that meaning and purpose is within our own heart. We make it up.
Try and get the illusion thing.
I'm not sure how to...
Maybe something you think you see that you don't.
Well, illusion means, yeah, it's something that's fake, something that you think you see but you don't actually.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the opposite of reality. Nothing's real.
Stop pondering that which is imponderable. Remember, all philosophy is made up. Psychology is made up. It exists in all these characters' heads. Then a bunch of other characters buy it and start making it gospel truth.
You know, in the book I'm reading, the main character talks about gravity and how before it was invented, there was no gravity. It's a human conception. It was made up by us, and before us, it didn't exist. Same goes for mathematics and language and science. Everything that we hold so dear is just in our heads. Everything is as it is. What is the difference between reality and illusion? Do you know?
Yeah. हाम्रो चाहिँ अब कल्पना र रियालिटीमा चाहिँ कतिको फरक हुन्छ फेरि
त्यो क्वेसन मैले बुझ्न सकिनँ.
I cannot understand this question.
I find it funny how when the human race sends out probes to make contact with potential alien races, we send them mathematical equations because that's supposedly the universal constant. But who are we to make that choice? Something we made up. And we think that other people are going to understand that. Other races are going to understand that. It's amazing how simple it can be.
Robert acts like a little kid in some ways. He still has emotions. He gets angry, he gets sad, but he doesn't dwell on these feelings.
Everything to the child is immediately present and whole.
So again,
They act without thought.
child can have wild emotions, but they last for 10 minutes and then it's over. It doesn't matter anymore.
And when a human being becomes more aware of what's going on, they don't have to filter their experience through their thought.
He doesn't sit and think, I better think this way because this is how I'm supposed to think.
And the more an individual chooses to direct their experience through their thought, through their mind, the more stress they maintain, the less relaxed they are.
You can be depressed about something, but what's the point of dwelling on that? There were many times just walking, the Himalayas surrounding me, that, wow, a couple tears just rolled down my cheeks because I was so happy to be feeling like this again, to be feeling like a kid.
Exit stage left.
You know, during school I did a couple of films about, a common theme across many of my films was the outdoors and contrasting a person stuck in the life of the city and school. Contrasting to someone who just lives one day at a time. But even while doing all these films, I never fully realized the difference it makes in my own life. How much happier I am out here. And seeing all these people and how happy they are without computers and TV and Wall Street and magazines and expensive new clothes. Every single person I saw after landing in Lukla was happy. Every single person. Even when they were carrying 5 or 6 huge boards of plywood up a hill that never ends, they always had a smile on their face. Compared to us, these people have nothing. One of my fellow truckers said that their average yearly wage is about $260 up there. And my camera costs about 15 times what they make in a year. But what the hell does that matter?
Yes. Very good.
These people have learned, learn's not the right word. Do you like it here?
Yes.
Yes, very much.
Yes.
These people have always been happy without money, and happy without things. For us, losing these things, it means losing our life. For them, they have nothing to lose but their lives.
If you notice that the yaks were carrying a lot of material up the top of the mountain, you notice a lot of humans were carrying a lot of stuff up the mountain. It is a very fine line, who is the beast of burden? And the thought always comes to me when I'm up here is I have really nothing ever to complain about if I'm working too hard. All I have to do is just bring to mind any of the people carrying the wood. The guy with the wood got me today. It wasn't it wasn't so much what he was carrying, but he was in the poly age, around 50, and he looked about 60. And to realize that this is all he's done, up and down,
And the expression on his face was, I don't know, I have no words for it right now.
I was talking to a friend about how I saw porters carrying up huge loads, plywood and refrigerators and huge beef carcasses. And the first thing she said was, God, they must be miserable. Why would anybody subject themselves to that? I didn't really know how to respond to a question like that.
Surrender to the moment as it is. And what that simply means is to realize that if I'm in pain and if I'm suffering, I've done it to myself. Without praise or blame. If I'm suffering, that means I am resisting reality as it is. Sensation is, but pain is the brain's interpretation of sensation. The illusion is that I'm feeling that here, when in reality it's in my head. Got it?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised at myself and how much I've been able to carry up. I mean, my camera equipment that I carried up yesterday was between probably 40 and 45 pounds, which doesn't seem like too much, but I went into this not being in great shape, and up at this altitude, I'm actually pretty surprised that I had no problem. I feel kind of like Superman. Maybe it's the fact that I just know I have to do it. I don't have a choice. What a spectacular experience. The culmination of everything that I was looking for in both the film and my own life. You know, and I realized that even if the film is a huge failure, this is a huge accomplishment for me. Knowing what I did to do this, beyond anything that I could have expected. I'm just kind of speechless. Base camp isn't all that much to look at besides the Khumbu Ice Falls. It's still almost a mecca. Before, everyone was telling me, no, you can't do this, or this is really not a good idea to bring up this much. You know, maybe it was partly to show everybody that I could be proud of myself.
You know, I started this film with the idea of finding my spirituality. I slowly developed into my spirituality being my ability to relax.
Spirituality, by any means, is just what you just said.
You like my hat?
Relax, let go.
I found what I needed to relax. When I kept saying, trying to find my own spirituality, it only meant I was trying to find my own way to relax. You know, I thought I'd pull some tricks and make it seem like I was getting all happy near the end of it. But I didn't expect it to actually happen. And even though I'm now back home and in comfort and watching TV, eating frozen pastas, sitting in my leather chair, I want to go right back out there. I want to feel it again. Maybe without the camera this time, though. I'm still wondering about the question why you decided to fund this film. And when you first met me, I'm sure you saw that I wasn't exactly a relaxed person at the time. So what made you think that I was a good candidate to make this film?
The film is immaterial. I don't really care what happens with the film. It was more or less in terms of you yourself. And as you said, a likely candidate, I believe is how you described yourself.
Yeah.
You are the likely candidate who would be perfect for this type of an experience because you're so wrapped up in who you think you are that you are tight, wound tight as a drum. And so to come out to a place like this, you know, might give you the opportunity, if you would be so inclined, to perhaps let go a little bit and unwind and lighten up a little bit. So your filming and so your activities can flow rather than be premeditated, so that your true artist form can come through. You know, water is wet, rocks are hard, the sky is blue, fire heats, and this is that, moment by moment by moment by moment.